is peer pressure is a part of growing up, but it can be scary for parents to watch their teens get swept along. What can parents do to prepare young people to stand firm, make wise choices, and still feel accepted by their friends? Miss Tuti, can you answer this question, please?
Sure, Divya. So, again, to this question, I will put another question to you. What if we are trying to build a house and obviously, we want the house to be a strong house, right? So, if we are trying to build a building or a house, what do we do? The first thing is we have to, for it to be good to go, it has to be very strong in its foundation, right? The foundation needs to be strengthened. We need to focus there. We need to focus on the roots rather than on the leaves, right? So when it says what may, okay, discipline, routine, house rules, right? Now it is said that we are nothing but the result of our habits. So as early as possible, and even here we are talking about teenagers, even in teenagers, right? We have not missed the bus as yet. Still we can put in discipline, focus on routines, and make house rules a priority. I'll just give you an example. I heard someone, one of my friends father once said that my friend told me that no, whatever happens, whatever discussions we do at home, my father tells me that before going to sleep, it should all end. We should wish each other good night and then sleep. Now, this might seem simple, but if this is a rule, that is what she has carried even till date. And now, who is an adult, she is following the same at her place, right? She has followed the same with her husband, with her children. And that is a big source of, say, not escalating the conflict, not wasting any further time, and also making our children and I think all of us realize the importance of time, and that we need not focus on the problem, rather we should focus on the solution. Okay, this has happened, now what needs to be done about it? And anyways, the beauty of a family is that there are no choices, right? So we don't say that abhi aapse main naraz hu bas aaj se aap mere koi nahi, right? We don't do this, no, nor does our family does this to us. So this is the beauty, and when this is the beauty, rather we should just sit and say that okay, ye ho gaya, ab kya kar sakte hain. So then the whole family gets solution driven rather than just pondering and putting in a lot of time discussing the problem. Also, I think when it comes to meeting and say facing the peers outside, so one is strong foundation. If my foundation is strong, it becomes automatic, the decisions, the choices that we make. Also comes sense of pride. Once I'm sure of, okay, this is my house, this is what my house stands for, this is what my family values are, right? This is how my parents are, this is what they do. And when the child takes pride into where he belongs to, then obviously anything that comes from outside has a very feeble impact on us. Then we need to teach our children how to navigate smoothly. So for everything, they need to think of reason rather than emotion. As Jyoti ma'am mentioned previously, that ask, check on the why and try and answer the why. So reason. Let us focus on reason rather than emotion. Now, once we keep on reiterating this with our children in various life situations, various examples, when if they have had a conflict in school, or maybe a conflict with the teacher, maybe a conflict within the family, let us first prioritize reason. Why should we do it? Why should we study? Why should we have a routine? Why should we have a car? Why don't we have this or not that? Everything. If we try and focus on reason, we'll be able to help them navigate better. Decision making, I think it's very important. Maybe it is not in our, we do tend to, as she rightly said, ma'am, that, we need to also check what do we mean by love. right? So, do we mean overprotecting them? Do we mean that we do everything for them? So, here I would just like to share one example. My professor, he would always give an example that, when the child is born, the newborn, we keep hugging them all the time and, we hold them very close. Gradually, we keep distancing them. Okay. That is for their benefit, that is for our benefit, and that is how a human is supposed to grow. Now, then he says that we need to he asks us to imagine that we there's a leash, just as we put a leash on a dog. So he used to say that there should be a leash from the parent over the child, but we should keep making the leash longer and longer and longer, so that we allow our child to go, explore, find new things, meet new people, commit mistakes. And since the leash is there, so the moment we feel that there is a threat, then we can have that little control and we can pull them back. So that I always found that as a beautiful example. And he would always say that allow children to make enough mistakes while you are still around. So while in school, so that when they go to college, it gets, they've had their own share of experiences and they have evidences of overcoming challenges, and it gets easier for them. Assertiveness, I'm not sure, but I don't think we have been taught beautifully that saying no is not a bad thing. Yes, now as parents, even if our children say no to us, we don't feel good about it. As teachers, we don't feel good when a child denies or says no to us. But as adults, I think our responsibility is to teach them how to say no. There is always a better way of saying no, of giving a reason, citing a reason, or stating that okay, it is because of this that I don't want to do it, right? So rather than what we do is nahi na nahi bolna hai, na nahi bolna hai, aisa nahi hai. Otherwise later on, then in all self help books we read the power of saying no, learn to say no. We can inculcate this in our children at a very early age. For example, there's a child sitting, was sitting in my office, and I offered the child brownie. So she liked it, and then I thought, the way we are, that अच्छा उसको अच्छा लगा है तो उसी को दे देते. So she kept on refusing, 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 and that made me realize कि वो ना बोल भी रही है फिर भी मैं नहीं मान रही उसकी ना, right? Now then we discussed, and then she was like that, ma'am, I think the portion that I had, I really liked it, and I found it really, it was very tasty, very well made. So can I not have another one, or maybe have it later? So then I realized that, we need to teach, we need to learn, and we need to teach better ways of saying no. Also, there is nothing that works like a goal. So if your child has a goal, half the distractions get withered away. So we can also work on when we talk to our children, we can always ask what is it that they like, what is it that they are interested in, what attracts them, what is it that they are passionate about, and try and build their focus on that one thing that they want to achieve. It could be a small one, it could be a goal, maybe for the time being, but then a goal setting helps us keep sorted.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This was very insightful.